day 22 of the war, the US Israel war in Iran. And my question is, are things getting out of control? Is this war getting out of control? Is this bigger than we thought? Is it longer than we thought? Is it going to bring in more players, or what actually does it end? A lot of people have been talking about whether this war actually will be the nuclear war, the apocalypse that everybody's talking about. And of course, like, no way, of course not. Nobody's actually going to use nuclear weapons. Well, when you hear the information that I have for you today, then maybe we rethink that, and maybe we start wondering exactly where this war is going, because the news from today the news from today is actually like burying the news from yesterday. So like the news from yesterday, had I done a live yesterday, I would have been talking about the impact in the old city. Again, really close to all the holy sites. And mind you, I've said this before, but the old city is just like untouchable. Like nobody goes for that. Like everybody respects. So, since what, 67, but now everybody respects like the holy city, and we leave it alone. And residents of the old city, of all the quarters, have constantly been saying like, okay, but it doesn't come here. And it hasn't bothered them that there are no shelters. It hasn't made that much of an impact to their lives. But this time, not only have we seen lightning strike twice in the same spot, literally the same plot of land in the old city, not a missile, a fragment. Yes, a fragment. So can't say it was aimed there, but still, yesterday's impact was so much more massive than the one a couple days before that also landed in the old city. Like that's the one, the one that hit the Holy Sepulchre. This one was a lot closer to the Western Wall, which is the holy site in Judaism, and the Dome of the Rock, and Al-Aqsa, which is the third holiest site in Islam. Luckily, nobody was injured, and the damage was only to like a sidewalk and the side of the hill. But I'm going to show you videos, and you can see the impact. Now, even if this is, I don't know if this was an actual cluster bomb or a fragment of the missile that was shot down. Either way, it's pretty powerful. Actually, Tony, can you confirm that? Can you see if there's anything out there that actually says if it was the cluster bomb itself or if it was a fragment that landed in the old city? But in the meantime, the big news right now is that the latest missiles shot by Iran have actually landed in the city of Dimona in Israel, in southern Israel. And again, I don't know if it's fragments of a shot down missile or the missile itself or the little bomblets of the cluster warhead, but we're talking massive damage. I'm hopefully going to show you some videos. I'm looking for some videos of that, but there were several in a row aimed at Dimona. Do you guys know what Dimona is? You know anything about Dimona? It's the city where it is believed to be that Israel has its undeclared and unconfirmed nuclear program. And that is where the missiles now seem to be aimed. And this time they hit and caused massive damage to a residential block. There's many apartment buildings like just destroyed. They're going to have to be knocked down and rebuilt. Many people will have to be evacuated. 20 are injured. There's a young boy, I think about 12 years old, in serious condition. and that's all we've heard of all of the conditions. But 20 injured, and anyway, news is still developing on this because this was just within the last 2 hours that this happened. So we're looking at some big news unfolding in the next few hours as we get to see, okay, with the 12-year-old boy in serious condition, and a woman 30-year-old in medium, how do you say medium condition in English? Okay, so anyway, so this is still developing and breaking news, but I'll tell you what, the war is not getting, it's not calming down. It feels like it's ramping up. So let's talk about, I'm going to go through a little bit of the news from the last 24 hours. And then after that, I'm going to do the videos from, what do you call it? From the old city. Oh, I see a few questions. Jimmy asks, has Israel removed the dangerous material? I don't know if Israel actually acknowledges that it's there. I don't know. And that's a great question. And by the way, hello to Tammy as well. Now, why is this happening? Why is it that right now Iran is very persistently today with several launches aimed at southern Israel? Why? Specifically southern Israel, and why Dimona, where the unconfirmed and undeclared possible Israeli nuclear program might be. Well, yesterday, or I think it was just this morning, that Iran said that Israel and the U.S. Attacked the Natanz enrichment facility, and now that is where that they believe that one of the locations where Iran has its nuclear program, that it's at Natanz. So they went after that, according to Iran. So this is most likely a direct response to that. Like, you go after our nuclear, we're going to go after yours. Now, for sure, they have tried this in the past, and you always see like that there would be possibly, here, let me just take a look. This is the site. Again, I've got this on. So you can see the destruction, but I'm sorry, my computer, I cannot get the blur background off of this. So when I point it at the TV, you cannot see. By the way, hi, Marilyn. It's good to catch you live. So they have definitely tried in the past, but for whatever reason, whether it is the missile itself or a fragment or interception or parts of the cluster bomb, they got through all air defense systems, and they have destroyed a very large portion of a residential neighborhood. I don't yet know the scope, but now they're saying 50 people, more than 50 people are injured. So, I mean, this is breaking news. So with breaking news, you can't trust the initial numbers in the fog of the moment. There's a lot going on, and so we'll wait and see and try to get details. But just to give you the big picture, if the U.S. and Israel yesterday or overnight were attacking the enrichment facilities, this could be a direct response to that, which basically just levels up and escalates the status of this war. Israel and the U.S. have been doing daily bombing raids of Iran. And it makes you wonder, like, okay, so if they have air superiority there, then they're able to take out a lot of launcher sites. And they said that they have destroyed like, a certain amount of launcher sites. They gave a percentage, and it sounded like, oh, they're as good as done, was like the impression that they gave. Now, also the fact that you don't see the response, like when there was only, like, just today we heard of the IDF said that Iran shot at a fighter jet going crossing their airspace, but they escaped in safety and returned safely, and nothing happened, no damage or anything. But that's very rare that you hear that, which and also the drones are flying freely and attacking the police checkpoints in Iran. So it makes you think, okay, so they have established, they took out the air defense system somehow. So that's, one thing you wonder about. Okay, they got that, but they're saying they got the launchers as well. And they did go after a lot of, they went after a launcher site. The US with bunker buster bombs the other day went after a launcher site. However, the launches are still coming, if not more so. I don't have numbers. I don't know exactly, they're, maybe it's only one missile at a time, but they're still coming. And they are triggering alarms in large portions of the country. So I'm not, military versed enough to be able to decipher the specifics of what's happening and why. But just as a person on the ground who is getting alerts all the time, I can tell you we feel that things are escalating, not calming down. Now, especially when you see where they're aiming for. So let me see. I've got some more comments. Jerry says, in Iran are very capable of taking out nuclear weapons and also nuking Israel. That's the big question right now. And the question is, would they use them? Tammy says, an Iranian leader who was recently killed has family in Canada, U.S., both doctors. The daughter, who was removed from her position in January, has left the USA. Oh, interesting. Okay. Wow. I wonder who the Iranian leader was. Okay. So, all right. So also here's another escalation. Iran fired 2 missiles at the Diego Garcia Island. Have you guys heard of this? This is like an island that is a joint US-UK military base, and it's in the Indian Ocean. Now, one interception failed, according to a report, and the other one was shot down. Or one was intercepted and one failed, according to this was in the Wall Street Journal. Now, why is this significant? I should probably go to a map for this, but why is it significant? Because it is further than Israel. So up till now, we've been noticing that like the launches can get be 2,000 kilometers from Iran to Israel, but this one is double that. So it's 4,000 kilometers or 2,500 miles. But let me go to a map. And let's see where Diego Garcia Island is.
I thought they said that Iran has missiles that can reach up to 10,000 kilometers.
I have to actually share this screen so you see what I'm doing. 10,000. I didn't. Here, you'll have to find me some info before you just drop that on me. I'm not going to repeat information like that, Tony. Let's see. So here we are, middle of the Indian Ocean. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Okay. So this is we really got to zoom out here in the middle of the water right here. And Iran is up here. Well, that looks, I guess, I mean, they say it's far. I'll believe them. But like this, it looks pretty far this way to this way too. Anyway, apparently this is 4,000 kilometers and this is 2,000. So what they're saying, what the experts are saying is that this shows that they have capabilities, long-range capabilities that could also then reach to Europe. So if Iran can reach Europe, that means that they suddenly become a threat to the European countries as well. So Europe is not off limits if they decide to go after them. So that is part of the concern here. Up till now, they were believed to only have the 2,000 kilometer missiles. But now it looks like they also have double that. And who knows, maybe more. Tony said he heard that.
No, I mean, it's not, I can't find it here. But
Okay.
definitely 4,000 kilometers, yes.
4,000 kilometers. For
Right.
those of you in America, that's about
Those are
2,500
like
miles.
cities like Rome, Berlin, Budapest, and Copenhagen.
Rome, Berlin, Budapest, Copenhagen. That means
now
that's
US
where
potential
they
targets.
could reach if they wanted to drag Europe into it. So it basically means that now, if we do go back to the map, I will minimize myself again and show you guys that where Iran has been aiming, aside from Israel, is very soft targets. Like here's Kuwait, here is Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, Qatar, UAE, Oman. So they've been launching here. Now, when they did launch at Cyprus, which is hi Jimmy and Becky, all the way over here, it was said that the launches, and they were drones, I believe. I don't know if there are any missiles, but that they came from Lebanon. So likely they were launched by Hezbollah, which is the proxy. And there's still a lot going on, by the way. There's a lot of fighting going on in Lebanon. Hezbollah is the proxy, the Iranian proxy in southern Lebanon. And they have been launching missiles and drones and rockets pretty much all day long. And these, because many of them they end up getting shot down, a few of them cause damage. There haven't been in the recent days any injuries or deaths. So you won't hear about it in the news, but honestly, like if you have an alert on your phone, it's like all day long. But that's Hezbollah, and it's just between Hezbollah and Israel. It's not involving the US. But so anyway, when there was a launch at Cyprus, it came from Lebanon. So other than that, Iran is concentrating on the Gulf states, and then Israel all the way over here. So anyway, this is the this is part of the escalation that could be concerning. And now here's another interesting recent bit of news, was that an Israeli was arrested for, oh wait, let me stop this guy. Let me stop this. All right. So an Israeli reservist soldier was just arrested for spying, on suspicion of spying for Iran. And his division, he worked with the Iron Dome. The Iron Dome is the air defense system that is responsible for shooting down all these missiles. So if he leaked secrets of the Iron Dome and how it works, that could seriously compromise the very good results we've been mostly having up till this point. And when I say we, because we live under the rocket fire. So anyway, that could seriously damage Israel's security if he gave away any information like that. So we'll see how that plays out. That's like another thing to watch. So, okay. Now, if you joined my live earlier, Tony and I walked through the old city, and we went to the site where the missile landed. And you can see, like right now, it's there's a huge barricade around there, and basically the sidewalk has just like fallen off off the cliff. And if that landed on a home, they'd be done. And again, I don't know what landed, but the impact was heard throughout the city. Somebody said, I think it was Arda just said right now, that it was the shock wave lasted for a while. Like people were still hearing it and feeling it for a while. Somebody else I spoke with said that, they were literally right across, like Tony's mom's house. You'll see her apartment building is like right across. Somebody else who is in the building right next door said that there was like a double explosion. It was like the impact and then the aftermath of it, and it shook the house. She thought the second one was the house coming down on top of her. Like this one was major. So I'm going to show you a series of videos. Now, the first one, I'll play it a few times because like by the time you catch it, The first one is somebody taking video of the missile coming down. I don't think it's AI. I think it's actually, oh, yes, Arda. She said, yeah, yes, I just quoted you live. Yeah, so you said it was that the aftershock that you heard, like, or that kind of stayed like vibrating in the city for another hour or so. I mean, Tony said that his ears did hurt for a couple hours. Like, that was pretty insane. So I hope I quoted you right. Oh, look, they're talking about it right here. Diego
4,000
Garcia,
kilometer. That's
4,000
crazy.
kilometers. All right. Well, hold your ears on this one because I'm going to play this. And this is, I believe, okay, Arda says that's right. Okay, good. I don't want to misquote you. So let's check out the videos. This is like, I'm going to probably pause and then come back. But this first one is the missile or the piece of missile shooting toward the ground. Oh, that one's not as good. Oh, yeah, there it is. It didn't seem to play right the first time. I'm going to play it again. I don't know if you guys saw that. It's hard to catch because it's so fast, but that thing just came shooting down. If that landed on a house, and I'm telling you, all of these homes right around this area and beyond in the old city, they do not have shelters. And I also have to wonder if certain shelters can even withstand it. All right, so the next one, this is an aerial shot from across the old city. I believe, I assume from the Mount of Olives. So let's take a look at this. There's no sound there, so you can just watch it and look toward the right of the picture. I mean, look at what that caused. That is insane. Now, that block of buildings at the top of the screen, this is the end of the Armenian Quarter, or the beginning, depending which way you're coming from. So like all the way like here toward the left is Zion Gate. And then this block is Armenian buildings. Tony's mom lives in one of these. And that blast happened on, this is the street that goes down to the Western Wall. And then you can see, like, as you round the corner here, you could see like the Western Wall, you can see Al-Aqsa Mosque. So this is like now basically right there in the middle of everything. I'll just give it one more. Unbelievable. Okay, so you saw from the sky, now you see it hitting the ground. Now, here is one of the first videos that was taken, I think even before the police showed up.
Why?
I'm going to play it again.
Why?
You guys saying like it's in the Jewish quarter. I saw it when it happened. An impact in the Jewish quarter. So here I'll do it. This is the road leading down to the Western Wall. And the apartments I showed you are like directly behind where this video is being taken.
Why?
So it happened, and if that landed on a house, what would have happened? All right, this next video is taken from like a neighbor of Tony's mother's, and I think it's Tony narrating from his friend's apartment.
So here's where it happened. See all these police officers standing. That's where it fell. I don't think it's a piece of a rocket. I think it's a landing. Thankfully, it landed on an open space close to residential areas, but nobody got injured from this so far, from what I know. But it's chaotic. Close all the roads. Anyways.
That's insane. Okay, this last video here is released by the IDF of soldiers working, their units working on the site after. There's no sound.
There's more now to the home.
Oh, wow.
They're still targeting it, man.
Now,
They're relentless.
okay, so no, that's not what I meant. Hold on. Oh, yeah, I got to stop. That's it. I got to go back to this. Guys, sorry for my lack of technical prowess with this thing.
Yeah,
There is another launch detected to the south of Israel. So it's almost like they finally got their coordinates right, and now they're going to go with it like one after the other. That's what it feels like. Also, it's just very interesting. Now, I cannot say that they are targeting Jerusalem. I mean, you would think they probably would want to target the Knesset or some other, that's the Israeli parliament. They would probably want to target sites like that specifically, maybe not necessarily the old city. But what's happening for whatever reason, whether it's the fragments or the little bomblets and the cluster warhead, they are landing in the old city, whether it's being intercepted on its way to somewhere else. But what are the odds? So it seems very suspicious. So that's why there's a sense right now. I'm not speaking from an official standpoint, but there's a sense right now that this is an escalation and not necessarily a calming. So let's see. Right now, there's sirens coming in places I never heard of.
What's Dimona again? Beersheba, Dimona, Yerucham.
It's not written.
Yeah, it is. In the
Where?
It was in the map.
Yeah, I know, but right here,
Oh,
the sirens.
I looked at the map.
No,
the red
Arad.
areas.
Oh, Arad. Okay, so that's getting closer to Dimona
Yeah.
and Tel Arad and all those places. But it doesn't say that there's sirens yet for Dimona. But it really looks like that they have locked in on a target for the south, and that they're going to go for it. Let me see. Arda says, what was unusual about yesterday also is that we heard sirens twice in less than 10 minutes. Yes, that was it did happen. Another time, I don't remember hearing sirens twice for that one. Or did we? But
No.
the night before or something, it's all a blur. We were in the shelter. It was Thursday night or Wednesday night for like in 1 hour, in just over an hour, we were in the shelter 4 times. And one of those was 2 put together. So we stayed in the shelter for 2 sirens. And I don't know about that one in particular, but we did have one in the morning, and then we had one in the afternoon. But yeah, that was, also one of my sons was hanging out with his friend. He was supposed to be in the old city, but they went out of the old city, and they were like somewhere like in the center of town, which is not that far, but it is much further. They heard the blast. It practically threw them. And part of it was just because of fear, because the impact, even that far away, probably a half a mile away, was so loud they both jumped, and one of them like put their hands on their head because he thought the building's coming down around us. And my son was like, they were on their way to find a bomb shelter. They went to like a couple of different shelters and they couldn't open the door, like the doors were closed, so they kept going. They were on their way into a building to a bomb shelter inside when the blast went off. And my son just jumped down like 5 steps, like just they ran to the closest shelter. So, or that was inside that building, but it was insane. So yeah, that thing reverberated around the city. We heard it here. We're a good 2 miles away, at least, from the old city, maybe 3, maybe 2, whatever. I don't know. Driving, flying, I'm not really sure. We heard it before that. The thing about this one, Arda, was it didn't even give you to the end of the sirens. Usually the sirens end, you've got like a half a minute to a minute, and then you hear some kind of interception or boom or whatever. It was right after, like, because I remember trying to get my son downstairs, and finally, like, before we even closed the door to the shelter, we heard the explosion. We all looked at each other, and everybody in there's like, can you close the door? Can you close the door? And I'm like, yeah, there's still people coming. Like, we barely got down in time to, we live in, like, I mean, as inconvenient as it is that we, have to go to a bomb shelter, at least we have one, because you guys in the old city don't even have one. And a lot of people around the country don't have one. And do you know, for sure the Palestinians don't. And I don't know if you guys know this. I don't know if we talked about it in a live broadcast at night, but I talked about this in the morning update, that 4 Palestinian women were killed by a cluster bomb that hit a salon the other night. It was like maybe 2 or 3 nights ago. And so they were all killed. That was horrible. There was also that same night, another person was killed at a moshav in Israel, and he was a foreign worker. So I don't know what the circumstances were of his death, but for these women, there was no shelter. So they were killed, unfortunately. It was like, that was really sad. So
you have the video that Khachik sent me, right? Where you hear like the
but I
sirens?
can't play it.
Oh, okay.
Find it on Facebook. I'll play it.
I don't think it is on.
Well, check on Facebook, because I can't upload any more videos to my beautiful Restream account.
Why
because
is that? It's too full.
the
Oh yeah, full. Right.
full, but I have only these 10. They're all 10-second videos, for crying out loud. Full my, what? Okay.
But I have the video. on
Hi
my phone.
to. Oh, Jen. Yeah.
Does that help?
No, it doesn't help if it's on your phone. It needs to be on a thing that I can share. So, Jen, I can't say it's better or worse here. And today we didn't have any sirens. So, I guess they were tired. They tired of Jerusalem, and they're heading south. And hello to Lynn, and hello to Callie. I'm glad you made it. So you're going to have to go back though and watch the videos of the I'm sure you've seen them, of the bombing, the rocket missile fragment or whatever that fell in the old city. I have that. I played some of those. So, well, other than that is, I mean, I'm sure there's so much more news, and there's even things like, as soon as I put a thing out, I say, oh, but there's so much more. But anyway, there's always more. Oh, yes. So there are some Dimona videos. I just wanted to make sure that some of them were real before I put it out. But I did find here. So let me show you some Dimona videos, because this is going to be the city to acquaint yourselves with. Now, let me see. I saw here, look at this. I'll let it play again. And then this is going around. The woman who stayed in her living room. I mean, that's crazy.
קדימה, משימה חשובה, ביצוע סריקות.
Look at the destruction
קדימה.
of these houses.
ביצוע סריקות מהירות בכל הנקודות לדווח.
He's saying basically like do a initial scan, looking for survivors, whatever.
קדימה, משימה חשובה, ביצוע סריקות.
This is the priority is to what would you call it?
קדימה. ביצוע סריקות מהירות בכל הנקודות לדווח.
And then report back, like to check. But this inhalation.
לפנות גז, לפנות בניין!
I mean, I don't know where the people were. Were they in these buildings?
דליפת גז, אנחנו שומעים אותה.
See, we haven't yet gotten all the information because if they were in these buildings, I don't even think.
לפנות גז, לפנות בניין!
Yeah. All right, so see that was pretty bad. And if it's the fact that up till now that was not lethal, that's insane. Like that really that's miraculous because there were so many buildings affected, and like you just saw, like the wall was just sheared off. All right, they're saying now some injured. There are some injuries reported in this latest attack, missile attack and they're saying in Arad, which is another city sort of between Beersheba and the Dead Sea. They're saying injuries in Arad reported. So they have found coordinates for their target, and it looks like they are just continuing to launch at that. So anyway, that's what I have for now. Obviously, this is, as is the whole 22 days and counting of this war. This is just a continually unfolding story. So I would say stay tuned, check back. If you find this information useful and informative, and if you hit like, hopefully this goes far and wide on YouTube at least, and more people can tune in and watch. But I'm trying to bring you as wide range of information as possible. So hopefully people can really tune in. And thank you, Uncle Anthony. Yes, it's good to see you too. Oh my gosh, you got to see his comment there. Stunard. I mean, yeah. Varum fix sec, you, and a little Italian dialect for you guys. Also, if you haven't already watched, I would highly encourage you to go look for the video on YouTube of my interview with Khosrow Isfahani. He was very illuminating as far as like what's going on in Iran, and based on his research, and also he only left there a couple years ago. So he's like he lived the experience, like the protests, the arrests, everything. So he really has great insights into Iran. Anyway, this has been great. Thank you for joining. And like I said, stay tuned because it's an ever evolving and escalating story that's doesn't seem to end. Okay. Anyway, thank you very much.